Hello, I am Furycat, and welcome back to our tribal royalty run of RimWorld. And right as we start here, we get a short circuit of the power grid, which results in some fires, which fortunately everyone is rushing to contain. This actually illustrates quite nicely why we have some isolated batteries. You'll see that the batteries that are attached to the grid have completely discharged in the short circuit, but the batteries isolated from the grid haven't. Now, as things stand, we're meeting all of our energy requirements as is, so we don't need to introduce these batteries back into the grid. But if we were wanting to run, let's say, some turrets or something for a base defense, being able to power, basically bring these batteries back into the grid would be incredibly useful right now. But yeah, they've contained the fire quite nicely, and yeah, that's all under control. Okay, so yeah, that was our bzzzt, done. So let's go ahead and see where we were. So yeah, in our last episode, everything has kind of calmed down a little bit. Our moods are all generally pretty high among our colonists. Nobody's injured. We have Colin as a relatively new colonist. We're still working to get Scorpion back from our having to arrest him for his own good, and we're trying to recruit Gogol. Now, in the last episode, we started to fortify our base. So you can see we've started to put walls up to kind of restrict the angles the enemies can attack from. Now, this won't really help us with sappers, so at some point we probably will need to put some extra defensive layers in around these walls, but for the time being those should restrict most raids to having to come at us from this direction. Now we will eventually want to be able to kind of restrict this at some point, but this is an awful lot of walls, so for now we're just going to make do with our barricades, and I'll probably put some turrets in here at some point as well. Now, our food situation was getting a little touch and go, but we've done a lot of hunting. We've kind of hunted the last of the buffalo. There's a bunch of like ibex and deer and so on that we've got Galga working on. And we're expanding our growing efforts. You can actually see Nat and Parish hard at work planting away with the potatoes and the rice here. We're also going to be growing some hops to make beer, hopefully. We are going to grow some corn, which is a very high density kind of food yield. Takes a long time to grow, but very high density. We're going to plant cotton up here, which is going to be good for growing to give us cloth, which we can make clothing out of. And we're going to grow some heel root over here to kind of help get our medicine situation under control. Now, we actually have a quest here. So, Nikitas Apokos? It's a very Greek-sounding name. A yeoman of the Imperium Moon is fleeing a troubling political situation. Wants to hide out at Kitty Town for 15 days. We must keep the mood of Nikitas above 30%. They're not going to do any work for us. Interesting. We can get quite a lot of goodwill, and you're a trainer for the animal skill and some plasteel or royal favor. Now, at the moment, we don't have anyone with a title. So I think we're going to accept for royal favor, and I think we're going to go for Galga, since it was Galga's husband who was the previous holder of royal title. I think it feels right that Galga take up the mantle for us now, so we'll accept for Galga. And Nikitas arrives. Oh, and a shuttle, look at you. We're gonna need somebody for Nikitas to sleep, which is gonna necessitate another bedroom, I think. Where should we construct our guest bedroom? I kind of get the feeling we're gonna grow the base around this kind of area, so let's, we may as well. We're kind of chewing into our slate supply, so let's ahead with some good old wood for now. And we'll construct a standard pattern bedroom here. Sure, you can have a steel door. We're reasonably flush with steel. And then we're going to want a double bed. And And we might as well go ahead and give this person all the mod cons. So we'll get a dresser in there. We'll get, where's the end table? There we go. Yeah, marble. Marble's the prettiest. We'll get an end table in there. Let's get that taken care of. In fact, you know, what are you doing just now, Beaver? You're working on there. I'm gonna want you to actually prioritize this, Beaver. I need you to get this built for me, bud. Poor Beaver continues to be literally our only really seriously skilled constructor, and everything's fallen on this poor guy. But you know, he's working on it like a champ. His construction skill is godlike because of all the work we've had. A coma child from Enin is passing by. She is named Anya Avila. Well, okay. She doesn't seem terribly interesting, so yeah, I'm assuming we could potentially try and yeah, I suppose we could try and arrest her and forcibly recruit her. It seems a bit harsh. So actually, Beaver, I'm just gonna get on. We don't really care about her. She can just pass on by. All our planting is continuing. We have a lot of planting we need to get done here, but I think this is going to be worthwhile, and particularly once we get Scorpion back into our kind of community here. I think we should be well under control in terms of people to deal with all of our crops. And we finished researching beer brewing. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead and pause while we figure out what comes after beer brewing. What to do next? We could start in on microelectronics, which unlocks like all this other stuff that comes next. Like we can't go past here without microelectronics. It's a huge ask. 6,000 research. But I don't really think there's anything much better for us to do at this moment. Actually, solar generators might not be a terrible idea. That kind of augments our power generation without us having to burn materials. So we'll do solar first, then I guess. I think after that, yeah, microelectronics might be our next stop. Okay, we're starting to get some meals built back again, thanks to Colin. I could see Thor doing some good hauling work there. And the nice thing about slaughtering these muffaloes is it's going to result in a whole bunch more blue fur for us, which probably going to want a couple more pairs of pants, a couple more shirts, and maybe a couple more jackets. You know, we want to just make sure we're keeping a decent supply of clothing available to us. Okay, Beaver working away hard there on this room. You know, I think we may even want to go ahead and put a floor in here. Well, I don't know. I think we're still a little low on our marble, so we can go ahead and put a slate floor in there. How are we doing for blocks? We've got plenty of blocks here for Galga to cut, which will hopefully keep our supplies up. Doesn't really hurt to queue a few more hauling orders for blocks just to keep that well supplied. Let's see, we're good on steel. We're okay on wood. I'm going to keep an eye on that. We may need to get a little bit more of that. Yeah, okay, we're doing well. Beaver's laying floor there, so hopefully this is where Nikitas. Let's go ahead and actually set the owner to Nikitas. This is where Nikitas, our guest, is going to sleep. Chunks of spacecraft. Oh, wow. Don't mind if I do. Those contain components a lot of the time, as well as steel. Always useful. We're going to have to maybe construct some more graves. If we get another raid here, that's going to result in more bodies for us to deal with. At some point, I'd quite like to construct a furnace so we can cremate bodies rather than just dedicating ever larger tracts of land to graves. But, okay, we're doing reasonably well here. What's the temperature like outside? 4 degrees, okay. Okay, how's Nikitas' mood doing? Yeah, you're pretty happy. He's comfortable, his recreation's being satisfied, doesn't have great high expectations, he's got a spacious interior, the dining room's nice. Not liking sleeping in the cold. Of course these rooms are separate from everyone else's. Opinion 13.8. 2.3, okay. Oh, the generator is out of wood. We need somebody to wake up and go refuel the generator. An inconvenient time for it to run. That's the other problem with generators, is they can run out of fuel at very inconvenient moments, and you're kind of relying on your battery power. And of course ours was drained right at the beginning by a bzzd, which caused some damage up here that we're going to need to repair at some point. Now, we have figured out blowback operation, which means we can make heavy SMGs. What do they need? 75 steel and 4 components. Oh my. Yeah, those are not cheap, but they are properly awesome. So let's queue a bunch of them up. Time to go looking for components again. I'm sure I saw some. Ah, yes, here we go. Mine some more components out. There we go. That should hopefully take care of that. Ah, poor beaver. Here he lies. We have art on Beaver's sarcophagus. It's engraved with an artwork of Viper Rogov being assaulted with quick, efficient movements. 10 sparrows look on. The depiction relates to the attacking of Rogov on the 14th of April, May 5501. So it's a kind of mural of his final battle in defense of the colony, while some sparrows watch for some reason. At some point we need to enclose this area and create like a nice little mausoleum where our fallen colonists can rest. Okay, so Beaver's finishing work up in here. That should hopefully keep our guest happy. Good, our planting looks well taken care of. Nat is finishing up with the planting of our heal root. That's going to be a huge benefit. Speaking of heal root, let's see, there's some. Let's see if there's any we can harvest now that spring has arrived, and hopefully this stuff's growing again, because heal root is incredibly. There's none harvestable down here. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is going to be important growing out up here. At least until we can start to craft proper medicine, we're going to have to make do with kind of herbal medicine. Why is this generator not being refueled? We have wood. Could somebody maybe, you know, Galga, go and refuel the generator, seriously. Thank you. We may want to get another wind turbine on the go, although we're going to get solar power at some point here, so we can get some solar panels in the center of the base. I'm thinking that our kind of base, longer term, is going to kind of be around this geyser. So we're going to have a base kind of here, and then defenses around the outside perimeter. Now we have secured our southern approaches here, and it looks like Beaver's hard at work up here. We're running low on slate though, so you make sure we keep Galga. Well, we've got orders to haul them. Let's haul them. Keep Galga well supplied with slate. We're gonna need plenty of slate to keep us going. We'll probably need to harvest some wood at some point as well here. On the bright side, things are nice and quiet at the moment. We're not being attacked. Nobody's coming down with diseases. Nobody's suffering mental breaks or anything like that. It's actually almost too quiet. We could maybe start to put some thought towards sending out a trade caravan. So let's go ahead and pause and have a look at the world. Now let's see who we've got nearby. These guys are neutral. These guys are neutral. So yellow and purple are neutral. And it looks like the Imperium over here. So we have actually got some reasonably good trading opportunities nearby. Now this all involves moving through hills, but perhaps the Imperium might not be a terrible idea. The question is, looks like they'll buy all kinds of things. We could go in. We could go into drug production. And sell them like smoke leaf or psychoid or something along those lines. Yeah, smoke leaf giants, they'll buy those. Psychite tea, they'll buy. Those usually sell reasonably well. Yeah. Ooh, now we do have some jade down here. I didn't mind that. We could maybe make sculptures out of jade to sell. Do we have anybody who's got good art? Worm is 6, he's not terrible. You're 5, you're 4. So 6 is our best artist. We could potentially start doing some art. Craft some sculptures to take down there. Clothing is another option, particularly once we start to get getting our cotton plants harvested. Although we've got a reasonable amount of stuff that we're making out of various leathers here. We do have quite a lot of leathers. So at the point, we could take some of the various leathers that we've got to sell. Okay, so the southern defenses look to be complete. At some point, this is going to get mined out, and we're going to have to kind of finish up that wall. This almost secured from this side. This needs a bit more work. There's some more blocks for us to haul. Speed things up a little more. Everybody's kind of asleep at the moment. Uh-oh. Mad donkey. Okay, well, because our southern defenses are set, it's going to have to come at us this way here. So, you've actually got a pretty amazing weapon. Zeus hammer. Wow. I mean, everybody's asleep right now, so there's a limit to what the donkey's gonna do until people wake up. Then we're probably gonna need to deal with it. So let's wait until people start to wake up and think about moving around outside. Okay. Oh well, this is gonna be settled for us. Strath Nikitas. Oh, he's psychic as well. So sure, go ahead and stun it, and then yeah, beat it to death. There you go. No, beat it to death. It gets to become part of the food supply. Cool. Thanks, Nikitas. How's your health? You're pretty good. You're not bad. Hopefully that doesn't affect his mood too much. I mean, he's a pretty good mood despite the pain. So sure. And that gives us another bunch of meat that we can do stuff with. Donkey meat's on the menu, boys. Wow, an excellent wooden double bed with art and everything. First is engraved an artwork of Kuro Beaver Xenos. Oh yeah, Beaver. Leaping away from a collapse of debris which impacts with incredible force. He has lost his balance. Almost every shape in the image seems to be rectangular. Portrait refers to Beaver dodging a cave-in on 9th of August 55-1. Yeah, that was when we had him... I think it was when we were deconstructing the building down here and stuff collapsed because I hadn't remembered to take the the ceiling away. Kind of nice you get these little... That's another excellent double bed. An engraving on this furniture illustrates Viper Rogov tying Cabanas Bador... Oh wow, Cabanas has Badornadas hands as she twists in pain. Rogov is looking to Cabanas' eyes with a sense of dominance. Wow. Work is infused with the idea of confinement and is done in a complex and realistic style. A group of drunkards appear near the main subject. The illustration refers to Rogov capturing Cabanas on the 11th of December 5500. Well, okay. There's another one, another excellent double bed. Wow, you've made some excellent double beds. Furniture is engraved with a representation of Worm Abangalu sitting next to the hoopstone ring. Oh, it's over here. His body loose and relaxed, a green aurora shines in the background. The image somehow expresses both compassion and depression. Provocatively, the scene takes place on the outskirts of a town. The image relates to Worm enjoying himself at Hoopstone Ring. There you go. Oh no. 2 of my tribespeople are sick with malaria. And one of them's Nikita. And Worm. Really? So... yeah, he's now got malaria. That's just fantastic. You know, the guy that we're trying to keep in a good mood for the whole time he's here is now in all kinds of pain and is sick and is unhappy, and that's not great. Okay, so what can we do? Beauty is neutral. Well, let's see if we can't fix that with a plant pot of the... I could make a jade. Well, marble's beautiful, so we'll put a marble plant pot in here. Let's give him some light. He's going to be resting up with malaria, and being in darkness will make him unhappy. Hey, Beaver, guess what? Priority working time. Roll on medicine again. That comes as an immense surprise. I need you to work on that as well. There you go. Okay, we're getting there. Aha, solar panels. Excellent. So, I think, do we just go... Do we just go to microelectronics now? Not really sure how this helps. Colored lights, I mean, okay. Let's go for microelectronics then, sure. Get to work on that. Oh, hello, we've constructed some heavy SMGs, and why is the corner of our building missing? That seems wrong. Alright, who are our best people to give heavy submachine guns to at this juncture? I mean, Galga's our hunter, and bolt rifles are kind of better for that. You're terrible, Worm. You're not getting an SMG. Nat is looking like a strong prospect for a heavy SMG. Cabanas is looking like a strong prospect for a heavy SMG. You're a melee person. You can grab our bolt rifle. Yeah, you're better off being a melee person, Beaver. I know you're better at shooting, but you have a burning passion for melee, so that's probably better. Okay. Excellent, excellent. We're gonna need more components. There's a pile of them out here. Why aren't these being hauled? Where's our doggos? What are you doing, doggos? Go haul the components. And Jade, there's like all kinds of things not being hauled. What are the dogs doing? Okay, anyway, we've kind of gone a little bit long on this one. This is about the 25-minute mark now. So, I'm going to go ahead and put a break in here. As always, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that, please comment below. I do enjoy hearing from you. If you've liked this, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to keep following along with what we're doing here, then go ahead and hit subscribe, and you can keep up to date with everything we're doing. And I will see you next time.